Spencer Jones, guard Ryan Agarwal. Open it up for questions.
All right, so explosive game. You win by 45. Did you expect that coming in this afternoon?
Yeah, we definitely expected to come out and really kind of punch them in the mouth, just because with, our little losing streak coming in, we had to try to turn things around. So to come out, start a game like we needed to, it was a big push for us coming forward. Moving on to Texas and other bigger and better teams.
Even though you guys were supposed to beat these guys handily, still, how good does it feel to take care of business like this in the manner you guys did?
I think it was huge. I think, especially coming off a break with a lot of guys taking finals, we had a couple guys taking finals today, like right before the game. It was just kind of like a feeling of just like freedom of just being able to hoop and have fun with the guys after like a long 2-week stretch of not being able to play. So I think at the end of the day, we were just having fun out there. So it really felt good.
I'll keep going then. So Ryan, can you talk a little bit more about just kind of what got into you today, and just kind of seemed like you were establishing a good kind of rhythm from the perimeter today in your shot.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of like me, including all the other guys, we just put a lot of work in outside of a game that you like a lot of people don't see. And so at the end of the day, it's just confidence. We just trust in the work that we see. So when any of us get one of those looks, we're just shooting it with confidence. So for me, it was just the same thing. Like the teammates trusted me, which just gave me the ability to have confidence in myself as well. And when a lot of other guys are playing well too, it makes it easier for me to get in a rhythm too. So it just opened up a lot of things to me with my teammates just playing well too. So it's kind of what kind of went down.
All right, and Jarvis, how do you feel being able to get in double figures this afternoon or this evening now?
It was great. My teammates, they're hyping me up. It was a lot of energy. But I credit to my teammates because they kept finding me. They wanted me to do well. And, ultimately, it was a great atmosphere. We were up by a lot. It was basically we just want to have fun. And so that's what we did out there, and we just handled business. So, yeah.
This is a game where you guys got a lot of different people going. Ben Giebler got involved. Some of the other walk-ons got in. Just how fun is it to have a game where it truly is kind of a collaborative team effort in terms of everyone getting minutes?
Well, yeah, this type of game is where you see the chemistry we kind of have. Everybody standing up. When one of these guys or anybody knocks down a three, everybody celebrate, and it's a big, it's just an example of the culture we have and the type of fun we have with each and every guy.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, no. Well, Spencer, so you guys played in Milwaukee, my home area, but you guys played in Milwaukee, and the Badgers was a pretty good game. These guys played the Badgers right after that, and I think lost by 11. So, which team did they seem like they were? A team that could play pretty competitively against a common opponent, or a team that you guys just lambasted?
You talking about the Badgers or the
UW Green Bay? Because UW Green Bay played the Badgers.
Yeah. That's the type of team that you have to come out pretty strong with them. You have to be forceful with them. That was our game plan, to come out, really try to pressure them defensively, not let a team like that get in a rhythm. And once you do, you can kind of get control of the game that way.
Jarvis, just kind of talk about your progression this season. You've gotten more and more minutes, making more and more shots from what you did a year ago. Just what's been the key to your kind of development as the season has gone on?
I think just working, with the coaches and also my teammates, just working on game situations, game shots, always being ready because you never know when your number's called. So always just stay ready, and once you get in the game, make something happen, make an impact, and yeah.
All right. Well, the Texas game, are you guys going to have any kind of special support for Harrison going back home?
Well, you got another Texas guy
Yeah.
here. He can tell you about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's my hometown too. So like, I'm happy. I'm happy to go back home. I know I got a big crowd showing out for me, and Harrison. I think his parents were saying like he got a bunch of tickets for a bunch of people coming out for him. So for us, it's like for me, I've gone just like last year. I went to all 3 playoff games at the Maverick Stadium. So to be able to play in that environment on that court that you watch like these guys that you like, dream of being with, like and playing with, it's just an amazing feeling. So. For us, I think we're having dinner at Harrison's house. So that'll be kind of a little bit cool just to kind of see one of the home environments of, our team because we're always here away from home. So in that scenario, yeah, we'll be doing something like that. But at the end of the day, for me and H, it's just kind of like a little trip home before Christmas. So
I'm guessing you grew up a Dallas Mavericks fan?
Oh, I'm still a Mavericks fan. They were playing right now. I'm about to go check the score after this.
Who's your all-time favorite Mavericks player?
Dirk for sure because I was 8 years old when they won the championship. And he was a loyal humble dude. Like you can't hate Dirk, you know. So that's my all-time favorite for sure. I just grew up watching him play and just get buckets.
And then kind of looking at Texas, they're a top 10 team, obviously a really good team. You guys have played some good teams this year. UCLA, a ranked opponent. Arizona State's not ranked, but they're 10-1. Just what are some lessons you guys can learn from those games? Maybe you didn't finish, you guys didn't win, that you guys can carry over into Sunday's game, you think?
I'd say the biggest thing is how we perform in those first 5 minutes, because each and every one of those games, you look at the second half, and we're right there with them, even score pretty much, if not outscoring them in the second half. So it really just comes out to, how strong we can come out in the first 5 minutes, whether we can set the tone and show them what we can do.
All right, and another future game, you guys next week will be playing down in Santa Cruz against
Loyola Chicago.
So what do you feel about playing on that one? It's not the NBA court, but it's the G League for the Warriors court. So how do you feel about playing down there?
Well, I mean, we in the beginning of the season, we did like a little team bonding thing where we practiced on that court to get familiar with it. But through COVID, I've played about 6-7 games on that floor, so I'm pretty familiar with it. So are like half the guys, but it'll be new for these two, but it's not going to change much.
Is it going to feel like will that feel like a home game, or will that feel more like a neutral site? Just how would you define that? It's neutral site technically, but
technically a neutral site. I mean, it depends on who we can get to make that hour drive down to Santa Cruz. But no, it'll feel a little bit more like a home game to me at least. Yeah.
thanks, guys. We'll be back to Coach.
All right.
Yeah, in high school.
Head coach Jerod Haase, coach, open up with a statement.
As pleased overall with our schedule and final schedule. Our break during this time is much more significant than I think anywhere else, or at least most schools. And with a big layoff like that, you always have a level of concern. You're not sure how the guys will react. And I thought the attention to detail was pretty good. I thought we had some really good spirited practices, tried to address some specific things to try and improve upon. And again, I thought in general the attention to detail was pretty good, and I thought there were some positives we could take for the game.
You guys pounced on them early, got out to an early lead. Just what was the key in making sure you guys didn't give them any oxygen from basically opening its edge?
Yeah, I would say it was more defensively than the offensive end. We did some good things offensively when we got shots. We started the game and had just some careless, silly turnovers. But on the defensive end, I thought we executed the game plan of what we were trying to do, trying to have good ball pressure, trying to eliminate driving lanes. But I think start of the game, I thought the attention to detail on the defensive end was good.
So, Coach, I asked Spencer this question. When you guys played in Milwaukee, you played the Badgers, and UW Green Bay was playing them like maybe the game after that, and they lost by maybe about 11. So did you expect to be this dominant against them, even though they played pretty well against the Badgers?
Yeah, I would say, our general philosophy we've heard, before is you fear nobody and respect everybody. So we certainly had a level of respect for them, but also understood we have an idea going into every game. We want to handle our business. We're going to have a scouting report. We're going to try and execute that scouting report the best we possibly can. We'll use adjustments quite often from game to game, and then try and execute that game plan. And I thought the execution, considering the finals break, considering we had guys, we had to move shoot around time today because they had finals almost up until tip, and so I thought it was really good they were able to come out and focus.
Just talk about getting Ben Aguilar in. He's healthy now. Just what you saw from him and how nice it was to get him involved in the game.
Yeah, Benny was really a spark. I think it's he has a pace to his game, a confidence in his ability. Obviously, he can shoot the basketball. Don't expect a finished product right now, but I expect him to go out and play with a reckless abandon and play with confidence that I think he has, and I thought we saw that today. And it was a starting point. I don't know what tomorrow brings with kind of all the point guards. Right now we have 4 different guys that are playing the point guard position with Michael and Issa and Benny and Harrison even some. So we're going to continue to massage that position, figure out what's going to be the most effective, and put ourselves in a situation, the best situation we can.
So, Coach, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but you guys will be going down to Santa Cruz next week. Now, will you look at that as a home game, or how would you prepare that for the guys? And then also the big Texas game where you got two of your guys that are very eager to get back home.
Yeah, I think it's fun for the Texas trip for a couple of our guys to get back to their home state, see family, and I think that's an exciting thing. Now that finals are done, I think there is an excitement level for our guys to be able to focus on basketball and take a deep breath away from the classroom. I would say we'll probably treat it as a neutral type game. I don't exactly know what to expect with either of the next two games, and honestly, it doesn't really matter. We're going to focus on what we can focus on and try and handle our business and use all those cliches, but it's also real. Let's focus on the scouting report. Let's understand what the game plan is. If it's a small crowd, big crowd, home crowd, away crowd, those things, I think we're at the point as a program doesn't really phase us a whole lot.
Spencer already kind of already mentioned this. I asked him what are some things you guys can learn from the Arizona State game, UCLA game you guys can carry into the Texas game. He just said getting out the better starts in the first 5 minutes. So as a coach, what are things that you guys can do, maybe adjust or change, or just make sure you guys get off to stronger starts in the first 5 minutes? Because you guys have been a pretty good second half team. It's been those first half really good times.
Yeah, the approach for this game, and I think I'm going to stick with it at least kind of philosophically here, is look, we give them a lot of information on the scatter reports where there's all the details, there are all the plays we're running, where we know all their personnel and their plays. And I think sometimes that gets everything spread a little bit too thin. Where I want to today, I gave them a couple points offensively, a couple points defensively to really focus on. I think moving forward, we'll still give them all the information as the game goes on. We'll be able to refer to that and hopefully have good habits. But what I want to be able to do is when we go in a game, it's like let's really let loose and play with a lot of freedom, knowing this one or two things offensively, one or two things defensively will really be the point of focus.
So, Coach, for conference play, then now there's an interruption before you guys play more conference games. Is that kind of difficult to deal with to focus on the conference opener against UCLA, and you play Arizona State, and now you play teams out of conference, and then you have to get back to it. So is there any type of method that you have to deal with that, okay, this is conference play, this is non-conference play?
Yeah, I mean, my truthful answer there is that we've had a lot of adversity as a program, and the country with COVID and with there's just been a lot going on over the last couple years, and so whether it's a conference game, non-conference game, what travel is like, what the weather's like, what the crowd is like. Again, I think I do a good job, and I think we do a good job as a program, is just is keeping our focus on the task at hand and not building a big narrative around those kind of things. And so, the games we're playing are going to be high-level games, the Texas game, and we're going to understand that it's going to feel like a conference game, even if it's not a conference opponent.
Two young guys got going tonight, Jarvis Moss, sophomore, freshman Agarwal. Just talk the progression you've seen from both those guys and how nice it was to get those two guys going tonight.
Yeah, and you see both of them are big-time shooters. They've both been practicing hard, have good attitudes. We're going to continue to give opportunities in practice and hopefully give opportunities in games as well. But it always is a positive step when they perform, when the lights are on. I believe in both of them. And, the reality, too, is we have some other good players as well. And so just trying to figure out what is the right mixture of playing time. And I think that'll certainly adjust game by game. But to your point, I thought they both played very well, and I have a lot of confidence in them.
All right, my last question is, so you got your leading scorers are all kind of like around the same, around 10, 11-point averages. So do you like it when it's more spread out like that, or would you prefer to have a 20-point scorer that you can be a go-to person?
I feel like I'm dodging all your questions because I don't have a specific answer. If we had a 20-point score, that'd be pretty exciting, and kind of a go-to guy. But when it does spread out like it is right now, I think that poses challenges for the defense as well, where they can't target one guy. I think as the season goes on, it wouldn't surprise me if we have a couple guys, scoring at a little bit higher clip, more consistent clip. But it's not something where I'm planning right now that we need that to happen. And again, I think it will happen naturally, but at this point, I think it's just part of the process.
My final question, just in terms of assist turnover ratio, I think it was like 14 assists, 13 turnovers, something like that. Just what do you guys need to do to maybe it jumped up a little bit? I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But
Yeah.
what needs to change for that ratio to improve for you guys? And is it just figuring out the point guard ratio better? What needs to change for that to be better?
The assists are going to go up when we make more shots, and I'd say that more as the first 10 games of the season. Sure. I think we've had some pretty good looks, and I think those numbers will go up, especially with some perimeter shots. So I'm confident and hopeful those assist numbers go up. The turnovers coming down, it's probably not going to be dramatic where we just cut it in half. But if we can take out an illegal screen or two, and the shooting ourselves in the foot, where it's a turnover that's just kind of like we're scratching our head, like why did you make that pass, or what are you thinking offensively? And so we can do a little bit with role definition for the guys, understanding play to your strengths, and maybe that limits some turnovers. Continue to talk about screening, so we're not leaning. But if we can get 1 or 2 turnovers, per game and get that number down a little bit, that's a big deal. I think the assists will kind of work itself out. It kind of is what it is, and hopefully it'll go up. But the turnovers, if we can just keep talking about it in the right ways, emphasizing the right things, and if we can get it down 1 or 2 and trend it, to have the trend go down, I think that's what we're after.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Thank you so much.